Hello out there, special people. I know the video is coming your way, pre-recorded, mostly because I have a limited amount of time and wanted to get this out the door because I wanted to keep people safe. I, you know, this project that I'm covering, if you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, I don't know what to think about this one, but I'm going to run them through the ringer for some false advertisement. Let's see if they fix it. As I said before, what we like to do every now and then when it makes sense is what we call the swag. And the swag is a high-level overview. It's not designed to be a deep dive. It's not designed to be a recommendation. It's simply a high-level overview. What we see, any concerns with a project, and then we post them. We make them available on our various platforms. You can, of course, get to us at cryptotalkradio.net. But I wanted to get into this one. This, I'm pretty sure, won't take that long. But you might have seen it on social media because it is getting some chatter, mostly because of its name. And that's where I want to keep people safe if I can. So if you haven't heard of this project, they call themselves Shiba Inu 2.0. This has nothing to do with the SHIB team. However, some of the stuff that they were doing caught my eye. I figured I would at least do the swag, present my thoughts of what I see, because there's something here. There's something here. Anyway, the rebirth, leading the charge, Binance Smart Chain, and so on. Forcing you to tell a scam. They do have a Twitter presence, but they mostly force you to tell a scam, as they mostly all do. They do have a white paper. It is a PDF, so I give them credit for that. However, what they call a white paper is really just a marketing slick. It's not what I would consider a white paper by any means. I don't know that they care because I've learned some stuff as I build out my crypto that's going to be available for our Tried Radiance members at cryptotalkradio.net about the industry, where it doesn't surprise me to see this garbage. So I didn't even waste the time looking at what they jokingly call white paper. It wasn't worth the time. All they're saying here is, we think we can do this differently. We think we can make SHIB succeed. We think we've got the key. We think we've got the equation here. Now, you notice they're doing all sorts of tokenomics that SHIB does not have. This is, of course, the Binance Smart Chain, which is why they can get away with it. And they called out contract renounce. That's mostly true. And then liquidity lock. That's mostly true. We'll get to that in a second. Very highly constrained supply. And then the roadmap. The roadmap's where I got a problem. I want to get back to this. They embedded the chart on their site, so you can take a look. And, of course, it exhibited the same pattern of the pump and dump initial behavior. This launched just a few days ago, so for it to have dumped that fast doesn't surprise me at all. However, they claimed way up here that they're going to be doing mechanics in order to get the price to consistently increase. I'm skeptical that they can pull it off, obviously. And then, of course, there's an email address. There's nothing to this site. And now, let's get back to the roadmap. Here's the thing. If anybody from this team is listening to me, here's where I got a problem with you because you have false advertisement. You know what? I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to make you wait because I wanted to run it through Market Move. Market Move, I decided to do the audit, as I always do. And the Market Move audit actually came back one of the cleanest that you could ever think of in the space. An overall score of 77 is pretty dang good. Contract looks reasonably clean. Number of holders and the amount that they hold appeared reasonably clean. I'll get to that in a second. Liquidity of a perfect 100. Financials of a perfect 100. No issues in the financials. Buy and sell tax is reasonable, as far as they called it. Circulating supply looks in decent shape. The owner wallet does not have significant amounts of tokens. And the top 10 only hold 17% of the supply, which means that there's no whales that could crap this guy out. That's what that's telling you. Now I'm going to slide my little watcher over here so you can kind of see the top 15 holders. If you notice, they don't hardly hold anything, which is actually good. You want to see that they're not holding a significant amount. Liquidity is in good shape. And of course, we saw that the liquidity appears to be locked. So, okay, and that's Pancake Swap because it's Binance Smart Chain. And then the contract does indeed indicate that it is, at least on the surface, renounced at the code level. And you can verify that in the Binance Smart Chain. So when I looked at this, I'm like, okay, well, you got a reasonably decent contract. And reasonably decent financials and reasonably good, score with Market Move. This is one of the better scores that I see from Market Move. So you're like, well, what's the problem? Well, the problem is that freaking roadmap, because here's now where I had to make you wait, but these guys are practicing false advertisement. There is something in this roadmap they did not deliver to you, the investor. Do you know what it is? Can you tell on this list? Mind you, they're still on stage one. Can you tell what it is? They promised you a fist marketing campaign. I don't see a fist marketing campaign anywhere on the site. There's no power to the people or the non-PG version of fisting. I don't know which they were referring to. I don't know that answer, people. I'm just saying they promised you a fist marketing campaign, and there's no fist marketing campaign anywhere on the freaking site. This is false advertisement. You were promised, I hate using the word, but you were promised some variation or some depiction or some practicing of the use of a fist in some way, presumably PG, and they didn't give this to you. If the devs of this are listening, I'm going to run you through the ringer for promising this in your stage one. Something around fisting, and you have nothing. I didn't want to say the word, but you know what I'm saying. Something around a fist, and you don't have it. Where the hell is it? Why don't you have it? Why are you making these promises you can't back up? You said there's something about fisting. Where the heck is it? Didn't want to use the word. Everything else looks fine. I actually have no other issue with anything else other than getting back to basics. There's no identity of anybody on the site. There's no audit. They claim that the audit's way out in stage 3. I'm not sure why it wouldn't be up front, even if it's a basic audit of some kind. So let's go down the list. No fisting. Not really white paper. It's crap. No identities, names, faces, LinkedIn's on the site. And this is funny too, because most of these scans, so Etherscan, BSC scan, Phantom, they actually require you to have a LinkedIn and a name on the site. So I'm curious why they would have excluded it anyway. So again, no fisting, what they call white paper is garbage, no faces, no names on the site. Contract looks fine. Financials look fine. As a gamble, it's probably okay. I don't see anything wrong with it from a functional perspective. But because you don't know who's involved, you don't know what's going to really happen. And launching in this bear period sounds good, but of course it already did the pump and dump. So there's no real guarantees on that. Again, if you want to do it as a gamble, I'm not going to tell you no. I don't see anything functionally wrong with it. There are obviously other things you need to think about. And you have to make up your own decision as to whether or not you're going to take the risk. Summary to know is that it has nothing to do with SHIB, though in SHIB, nothing to do with it. Whether it will succeed or not, I think it's a long haul simply because they're creating an association. It's the same thing as Hyper Shiba Inu, which I covered on the show. They're associating to SHIB because of SHIB's popularity. However, they're not providing what SHIB provides. They don't have anywhere near the strength of community. They don't have anywhere near the exposure to centralized exchanges. They don't have anywhere near the same confidence overall. They don't have institutional confidence. They're the definite. This is more a definition of a meme token than even SHIB is at this point. That's fine. If you are the gambler, by all means. Now, I close by saying if you were one that you got on this and you were already aware of it and you were curious and you saw this fist marketing and you were let down because there was no fisting anywhere on the site, I can confirm there's no fisting anywhere on the site. So if that bothers you and you want to avoid it, then I would absolutely advocate you do so. But I don't see anything technically wrong with the project. I simply don't think it's going to go anywhere. Not just because of false advertising, but also it's lacking core fundamentals. And it's hooked into SHIB, which I think is actually a detriment. I think it's a bad idea. However, it is up to you. It's your money. I can't tell you what to do. Your research and your decision is critical with things like this.